Carers World Radio Plus presents live from the stage of the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art in Bloomsbury, London, People Like Us. Presented by Tom Magner and Jim Coombe.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Carers World Radio, live in London at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts. So perhaps I should project a little bit more, and maybe I need to ask my guests to project a little bit more. The reason we're here is it's Young Carers Awareness Day across the UK, and tonight there's a screening of a special film. So without further ado, let's move to my first guest, who is Jamie Gort, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Action for Carers Surrey. Welcome to the programme, Jamie.
Thank you for having me on.
So, why this film?
Well, the identification of young carers remains a key issue. In fact, a recent YouGov poll produced for Bernardo's indicated that 40% of teachers are uncomfortable in the identification of young carers. So to address that, we commissioned Theatre of Debate to produce a play which focuses on the everyday lives of young carers and the impact of their caring role on their lives and on their education.
So is this film directed particularly at schools, exclusively at schools, or how do schools sit with this film?
Well, primarily at schools, but also other professionals who work with children would benefit from seeing it. To one, help them identify young carers, refer them to the appropriate services such as Surrey Young Carers, but also within schools themselves to put in place support mechanisms to support young carers in their caring role.
So how do you envisage it, for example, maybe in a school? How would a school use this film, for example?
Well, it's more than just a film. There is a digital PHSE resource which sits behind it. Use it as an entire lesson. So to raise awareness, to help young carers identify themselves, and also to help their peer group realise what it is to be a young carer.
We're going to see some of the film later on in the course of this programme through till 9. How would schools go about getting a copy of this film, for example?
Well, once we've had the premiere tonight, we're going to roll it out across all secondary schools in Surrey and also in Frimley Heath as well. Subsequently to that, schools will be able to purchase the PHSE resource, which is fully downloadable, and we will be publishing details of that later in February.
So where do you think, I mean, obviously the debate in a sense with the film is about revealing to people the life of young carers, possibly even with some of our views making them realise that they are actually young carers, which is perhaps a bit of a surprise. But how do you take, I hate to use the word battle, fight, but politics these days is like that. How do you get to the next stage, which is take it beyond saying, this is what a young carer's life looks like, these are the sort of pressures they're facing, and actually get the decision makers to actually make some progress on this front, beyond just simply recognising young carers?
Well, I think there's always more that can be done, but the 2014 Care Act and also the Children and Families Act has placed a legal responsibility on schools, teachers and professionals who work closely with young children to identify young carers. As I highlighted at the beginning, the YouGov poll suggests that many people, teachers, 50% of them who took part in the survey, still find it difficult to recognise young carers. So what we are hoping is that the film and the live resources will promote and support the identification of young carers in schools. But then the next stage is that the schools, working with agencies such as Surrey Young Carers, will be able to put in the support mechanisms to support the young carers identified in their caring.
and obviously you're going to be looking to see what audience reaction is, and we'll obviously talk to you later on in the programme. But I gather when you were, I don't know, piloting it or whatever, you had an audience with keypads making reactions. So what sort of impression do you get of the audience reaction?
Well, the theatre of debate model is to ask questions before the performance and then post the performance. And one of the key questions asked was, how much do you know about young carers? Now, before the performance, in the two upper quartiles, we had something in the region of about 25% knew quite a bit or a lot. Post-performance, that number increased to nearly 80%. So I think that illustrates the impact that the performance had. And what we hoped is that I might be sitting there with a friend and I would say, well, that's what my friend Ron does. But I'd never thought of it that way. Ron maybe sat there.
At the moment, Jamie Galt, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
And perhaps I could ask you to do me a favour and find my next guest.
I will try.
Okay, so school teacher, I think we're heading David Cooper next. Is that
David Cooper.
Okay, please don't move by means of key.
To the mode.
But we will be showing some extracts which are representative. And one of the things that's clear about this play is it goes into it digs deep into the emotional state of both of the characters. Set against the school background, elsewhere in the overall news environment, there's a lot of stories about bullying these days and cyberbullying and things like that. What would make a young carer risk, perhaps, bullying from his or her peers?
Young people, school kids can sometimes pick on difference, but I think if you use materials like that to get out there the fact that caring is part of life, and actually it's normal for there to be 2 or 3 carers in any class, and therefore if you've got a young carer in your class, they're not a weirdo, it's just normal. And if you get that out there so it's understood in the school population, then I think that vastly diminishes the risk of bullying. Young carers can be picked on if you don't.
Than the young carer. Catch up with you after the screening, if we may.
Well, thank you. Nice to speak.
Thank you very much indeed. John Baines, Surrey County Council Commissioner. If you've just tuned in, you're listening to Carers World Radio live at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts in London at the
real proactive, but all maintaining their.
What do you say to? Unfortunately,
health sciences up in the University of Leeds. They've got show working with when we're designing.
And is it the
come through the medical?
Yes. Or, so maybe the debate. My next guest tonight and to see.
Just
This,
if you're innovative and powerful than just watching telly or film, hugely.
Thank you very much and enjoy this and enjoy the film on Carers World Radio. And in terms of, obviously people are going to see it's a very strong. How did you go about trying to? Because do you think? Obviously we've met with enjoy the screening. Thanks. I think might be happy to see we might have.
You can get some supporting carers, but linked intrinsically to that is what our health colleagues can do. And this particular
There's courtesy of my camera.
I'm sorry again until I thought you know after what something pizza again and if you don't arthritis her knees were swelling up like football and I just started lashing out at people and shouting it's time to write it. See, this is hopeless. That. Over 100. What do you mean? What? Yes, the school students. University professor or something. Also, I'm on it. I do all the intros and stuff. Yeah.
Singing.
Yeah.
I'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Via
Any against?
the
computer
programme anchor.
is to be
Planning the have to fill with pre-specific room next door, a small fish stream channel less than a tenth that.
saying, for example,
with it. So please.
Christmas means actually that they're at home a lot more. There's a lot more pressure in terms of getting the house ready for guests, getting ready for Christmas. It can obviously put a lot of financial strain on the family as well. So it can be quite a challenging time.
in a sense, the official services are always going to have Christmas off, aren't they? So
for young carers is incredibly important, supporting
carers, giving an insight in.
For you, Gemma. Thank God. They take one look at me. People from all over.
3 meals every day, as well as having school and homework. No breaks, no days off. It felt like I was lost and alone, with no way out of the woods. I think I knew there were other young carers like me out there, but I didn't know how to find them or talk to them. And my other friends called me horrible names. They thought I was stuck up. None of them understood why I couldn't go out and have fun. When I moved schools in year 10, I ended up keeping it a secret altogether. Supposed to be taking care of me. I wouldn't have known what to say to a GP, even if I'd been brave enough to go. I was too scared to even wish for any help, in case I got disappointed. But then one day, a teacher asked me why I was upset, and it all just came out. She told me about a Young Carers project, and suddenly, there were people I could talk to, new friends I could make. I wasn't alone anymore. They even arranged extra help for my mum, and
That Sounds of the Woods, shown by courtesy of NHS England, a different take on young carers and their thoughts and dreams and nightmares.
So many organised, the Eastern, the place properly be expected of a child or a young person, and the loss of respite over Christmas is really unacceptable in the extreme, and it's just yet do we in a state of mind. Well, it feels like that. From across parties, I'm working together with Liz Kendall, for example, and Sarah Wollaston, who's the Conservative chair of the Health Select Committee. All three of us, representing the three parties here, we all share the view that this needs to be confronted, and confronted on a cross-party basis.
The Right Honourable Norman Lamb, Liberal Democrat MP and former Health Minister in the coalition government, with some very strong views on the issue of young carers. Now, if you watch the Christmas programme, and indeed have been following Carers World Radio for some time, you'll know that since the days of the Right Honourable Alistair Burt MP as Minister of State for Care Services, Community and Care Services, we've had a considerable amount of problems getting in touch with the Department of Health and also getting interview bids, as I've explained in the Christmas programme, Young Carers at Christmas. However, I'm pleased to say with the new year, things have improved a little, although I don't have an interview with the Minister who's just taken over the portfolio for care services. More about that in a moment. But the newly formed Department for Health and Social Care have given us the background to their policy on carers. This statement is voiced by Tim from our production team.
Section 96 of the Children and Families Act 2014 came into effect on the 1st of April 2015. This introduced significant new rights for young carers. All young carers are now entitled to an assessment.
So we're thinking maybe 7 minutes before the film.
Of care they provide of adult social services, and the Association of Directors of Children's Services provides further assistance to professionals working with young carers and their families. They are people who may not have a background in children's services. Its aim is to encourage a shared understanding of children's needs, so young carers, the people they care for, and others in their families are provided with effective support. Young carers are this country's unsung heroes, selflessly providing support for the people they love, but their own needs can often be overlooked. That's why we changed the law to help ensure young carers are identified and supported as early as possible, and services are in place to support them.
That's what the Department of Health and Social Care have said is the background to their policy. Now, since the Christmas edition, when we'd had a bid turned down and things didn't look very hopeful, I'm now pleased to report that as we move into January, that the new Minister of State, Caroline Dinenage, has indicated to us that we are very much likely to be able to have an opportunity to speak to her in the future, certainly hopefully in the not too distant future. In the meantime, for the purposes of this programme, she's issued a statement direct to Carers World Radio Plus as follows. Young carers are this country's unsung heroes, tirelessly providing support for the people they love. I am determined to ensure young carers aren't left behind. Whilst the government is already taking action to ensure young carers and their families are supported, I am clear we can do more, and we will consider this both as part of the Social Care Green Paper due to be published in the summer and in our Carers Action Plan. That's the latest from Caroline Dinenage, Minister of State, at the Department of Health.
Mum, I didn't know what to do, so I called the ambulance and I called you.
Okay, what are those, painkillers?
Yes, she takes them at night sometimes.
Gemma, how many were left in the bottle?
Don't know, I think she might have taken all of... Oh my God.
Okay, now, Gemma, you need to take some deep breaths, okay? We don't know if she's taking the pills, okay? But she's drunk a lot of vodka. We need to sit her up if we can. Keep her warm, get her some water.
Who's that?
It's all right, Tyler.
Mum, did you take any tablets?
I think I drank too much to drink.
What about any tablets?
No, I need a new prescription.
God.
Oh, God, I feel terrible.
How much have you had to drink?
I don't know. Gemma.
Yeah?
I'm going to be sick.
Okay.
Help me to the bathroom.
Okay.
You know, before you don't have to feel anything, you should go.
There you go. Sip it slowly, okay? Or you'll throw it all up again.
Go on, you better call her straight away. Reception's best outside. Yeah.
No, she's really proud of you. You're not.
I hope so. It's been nearly a year since I was like I used to.
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, she's okay. Look, great. I'm really sorry, miss. I don't mean to shout. I don't think I might... Okay, I'll speak to you later. She apologised.
Really?
Yeah.
Something like that out to schools and professionals across the country.
How you feel about young
carers that I go through, and I'm going through a lot of stuff.
Second back.
Hi, I thought it was fantastic. Really enjoyed watching the film. Can I ask the teachers, how are you using this in school and aware of at the moment? But this has been a huge success, especially with the video that we showed a few weeks ago. The activities that the kids did afterwards with our year 10s, the questions and the things that they put forward to me that wasn't aware of. I don't know everything on the carer side has been amazing, and the things that they want us to do as a school has been really beneficial to them.
I'm in a position where I'm here this evening to think about how I have used this resource so far, so we haven't had the film. So the reason I'm here is to think about how I'm going to incorporate this film and use that to identify the under the radar and therefore not help as much as they should. Another question. Mark.
What's your sense about how you might? I'm actually more welcome. I just really like to see some private time.
I've been asked to enter something at the exhibition at the Art Centre.
I knew that would cheer you up. It's a sing-along version with the lyrics and everything.
The young carer by my English teacher.
When you were A set in year 7, you're not fitting. 75.
Well, live here.
Into the unknown